When I graduate, I'm going to walk across the stage on my own. I'll have my doctors, nurses, therapists, and my whole family clapping for me. I will feel proud.
As you should, Marissa, as you should. We celebrate today the 31st anniversary of the signing of the Americans with Disabilities Act for people like Marissa.
Yeah, people living with a disability. In fact, here on Delmarva, we often say the differently abled, because people living with a disability are just that, very able to make a difference. And the Delaware Developmental Disabilities Council is shining light on those people as part of the DDC's first Disability Pride Project. So today, and all of this week, Delmarva Life's Katie Cirilli introduces us to the people whose stories will inspire and encourage you.
My secret power, it's cerebral palsy.
A secret power that Emmanuel Jenkins says saved his life.
Growing up in what the community would call ghetto, where things were violent, and I imagine if I could walk, I probably would have been trying to do some of the same things that we saw or heard, but because I had a disability and because I looked at the world differently, I valued life a lot sooner than a lot of people.
That value turned into a purpose, and from that purpose, passion, to educate and to inform, something Emmanuel says he knew his peers needed.
There wasn't a lot of resources. Talking to a doctor, you were really quick to get the can-do list, the never-will-do list, instead of your child can grow up to be a community resource officer.
So now, as that community resource officer with the Delaware Developmental Disabilities Council, Emmanuel works tirelessly to identify obstacles and to help others like him overcome them.
We may gotta go around it, we may gotta jump over it, but we're gonna figure out how for it not to be an obstacle anymore.
Emmanuel is just one of the ambitious advocates who makes up the DDC, a group of people who are always connected to the issues affecting the disability community, because they live it.
So our council, we have 23 dedicated, amazing members, the majority of whom are individuals with disabilities or their families. That is the most important part.
Kristin Harvey is the council's executive director. A big part of what she does is listen.
Go around and we convene Delawareans from all different counties, and we say, hey, what's going on in your world? What's important to you?
Help lighten loads.
One thing is the high incidence of individuals with Down syndrome. They're almost guaranteed to develop early onset Alzheimer's. So how do parents and families prepare for that eventuality? How do they prepare financially, legally, emotionally for that challenge?
And then she leads the change that will last.
Previous advocates dream of where we would be right now, and the progress that's been made in the past few decades as far as legislation and assistive technology and things of that nature would have been only a dream.
But Kristin says there's still a long way to go. One campaign she's particularly passionate about is the Disability Pride Project. It's a project that aims to share the stories of people with disabilities, one that celebrates their accomplishments and recognizes their humanity.
This has been a big dream of mine to do for a long time, to showcase just how wonderful people are. So the best way to help people understand is just realize these are just people. Just strike up a conversation. It doesn't have to be about, come up and what's with the wheelchair. It could be like, oh, hey, how'd you get that carrot cake from the buffet? And I didn't. This happens a lot. These are the types of conversations. See a person as a person. And if you get that mindset, if you keep that as your true north, you can't go wrong.
The council is sharing videos from members of Delaware's disability community as they explain what disability pride means to them. It's a simple message, one that Kristin says comes down to empathy.
Put yourself in someone else's shoes or someone else's wheels or on someone else's crutches. Think about how you would like to be treated.
One result Kristin hopes will come from this project is that people will see the world and those who are in it like they've never seen before. Consider it a light bulb moment.
One day we were in Emmanuel's office and we were rearranging furniture. And I said, well, we'll put the bookcase over here. And he says, no, that won't work. And I'm like arguing with him because I'm a decorator lady. I'm like, no, it's gonna look good here. And he's like, how am I gonna turn my wheelchair? There's not enough of a wheelchair radius here. So now whenever I enter a building, I'm looking at things like that because he showed me.
Real life that inspires real change.
When they call and I'm able to say, I understand or we understand, and then I go into a little bit of who I am, you can literally hear this sense of, I can really talk to this person, or I can really relax because now I feel like I'm not alone. And I think it brings us back to the council as a whole to know that you are being represented by people with disabilities, their parents, their allies.
A powerful partnership packed with pride.